The Hobgoblin, one of Peter Parker's most devious supervillain foes, has returned once again, but whose face lies under the mask? Well, let's hop into the pages of Amazing Spider-Man issue number 11 and find out together, shall we? Alrighty then, so as we join the book, we are in the home of Betty Brant. It seems that in the intervening time skip, her and the newly resurrected Ned Leeds have had a baby. Feel like you missed something? Don't worry, because Peter ended up missing pretty much the entire thing and only sent a gift for the kid. It's a junior science kit, of course. Betty lets Peter off the hook, saying that she knows that he's been very busy with all the mysterious stuff that's been going on in the last 6 months, and then goes on to check on her baby, whose name is Winston, by the way, only to be shocked by seeing the Hobgoblin waiting there. The Hobgoblin says that he's not here to hurt Betty and the baby, and that he's only here to protect them, which of course would seek to imply that maybe Ned Leeds took up the mantle of the Hobgoblin once again by choice this time. Now, if you read a lot of Spider-Man like me, then you're probably asking yourself, hey, they never answered that hanging question from the end of the Spencer run. Was the Ned Leeds who came back from the dead a clone? Or did Kindred bring him back from the dead with devil magic? Well, I don't have an answer for that question because, well, this comic doesn't have an answer for it either. Now back over with Peter, him and his intern Kamala Khan, who is secretly, of course, Ms.Marvel, are still hard at work trying to get Norman Osborn's brand new green engine project off the ground. And when I say green, of course, I mean green as in ecologically sound, not green as in Goblin, but hey, I don't blame you for guessing that. The project is actually going much slower than everyone hoped, probably because Spider-Man's mind is being pulled in so many different directions, and it's putting Norman on edge. Though, as Peter and Kamala both agree, they'll take an irritable Norman over a crazy supervillain Norman any day of the week. Once Peter feels that he isn't going to make any more progress, he actually ends up clocking out early. It seems that for once in his life, he is actually trying to find a healthy work-life balance. In fact, later that night when Spider-Man teams up with Black Cat, it seems that he's also ready to take the next big step in his love life as well. Yes, it seems that Spider-Man is actually staying good to his word and no longer pursuing Mary Jane, which in turn frees him up to maybe take things a little bit more seriously with Felicia Hardy. As Peter says, they've always done the same dance over and over again. She pursues him and he pushes her away. Ah yes, let the all-new shipping wars and debates begin, everybody. I can see the arguments already. Felicia's just being a rebound girl. That will never last. They're just doing this to further prolong the Mary Jane mystery. And honestly, at this point, after so much will they, won't they, I'm not going to say anyone is really wrong one way or another. Now, Peter is on cloud 9 when he returns home, not just because things went well with Felicia, but because that debt collector is seemingly not looking for him anymore. Unfortunately, someone is looking for him, and that's Ned Leeds. Ned says that deep down he always felt that Peter had the heart of a real deal newsman, and he wants his help in bringing down his new boss, Norman Osborn. Why? Well, because it seems that Ned has been working a brand new case following Osborn around, and he sees that recently he's been in talks with Roderick Kingsley, the OG Hobgoblin. The very same Kingsley who kidnapped, tortured, brainwashed, and eventually had Ned murdered all in the first place. So yeah, needless to say, this is a deeply personal case for him. While Peter ultimately turns down Ned's team-up request, at the same time, he certainly isn't going to let this go uninvestigated on his end. He confronts Norman at work the next day. And we discover that yes, indeed, Norman has been taking meetings with Kingsley, but not for the reasons that you think. You see, way back in the day, Norman, as the Green Goblin, had actually helped Roderick Kingsley escape legal justice in exchange for signing over his entire corporate empire to him. Now Kingsley's back in town, though, and he wants his old empire back. Peter assumes that this is the beginning of some sort of Goblin gang war, only for Norman to surprise him once again by saying, yeah, I've been talking to him and I plan to just give him his shit back so he leaves me alone. How many times do I have to tell you I truly am dedicated to the cause of bettering myself and trying to make up for my past sins as the Green Goblin. In fact, I'm building a brand new Gold Goblin costume for my spin-off series coming soon. Hell, even Kingsley himself is shocked to see Norman turn over a new leaf. He had brought a bunch of heavies assuming that this was going to turn into a fight, but nah, Norman just hands over everything that was once his. They even make a funny little crack about how Kingsley made his original fortune in fashion, of all places. Of course, then again, the founders of Hugo Boss were also Nazis, so you know. Villainy has many forms. Now, naturally, a simple handoff like this can't be simple at all because this is a Spider-Man story. Norman and Kingsley end up coming under attack by, you guessed it, the Hobgoblin. Well, wait a minute, if it's not Kingsley, the original Hobgoblin, then who could it be? Lord knows there's been several different people fill in the costumes over the years, and the comic certainly wants us to suspect that Ned is the one under the mask. But come on, you and I both know they're implicating him so hard it can't possibly be him, right? And it's on that note right there the comic comes to a close, everyone. So that was Amazing Spider-Man issue number 11, and after 2 really lackluster tie-ins, it's nice to see this Zeb Wells story's getting back on track. I certainly appreciate a good Goblin whodunit mystery. Lord knows it's quintessential Spider-Man, and it's been a little bit since we've had one. The Nick Spencer run actually implied incredibly hard that we would see Ned Leeds take up the mantle that was once forced on him, but then that series kind of ended unceremoniously, and I feel like that story got lost in the shuffle, only for Wells and his team to kind of try and pick it up and run with it here. Say what you want about this new era of Spider-Man and what it's done for Peter as a character, I will say with characters like Tombstone and Vulture, the villains have actually been getting a lot of extra love recently, and they certainly seem to want to do something different with the Hobgoblin here, the idea being that this guy might actually be more anti-heroic. Overall, I think I feel comfortable giving this one a 7.5 out of 10. It's a little slow to start, but once it gets going, it promises that this one might actually have some pretty solid payoff, and I hope that it does.
Hey there everyone, Cape Joel again, and I want to thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. As always, if you liked what you see, be sure to like, subscribe, comment. It really helps drive engagement and helps me out too. Also, if you are a patron, which you can become for as little as $1 a month, you will get exclusive content that no one else can ever see, and you'll get to see the Comic Multiverse podcast before anyone else too. You can check out all this and more down in the description. And until next time everyone, this has been Cape Joel, and I'll see you all next time. Cheers.